the terrifying forest. One day, three friends decided to go to a forest, about which many stories and tales were told about its beauty, the splendor of its climate, and its possession of charming and picturesque scenery. And here they were prepared to camp for 3 days and enjoy the beauty of nature. But their luck was hard when the car broke down, so they tried hard to get it to the nearest specialist, and they were lucky in that it was a workshop on the road and they were able to reach it very easily. And next to the workshop was a cafe. They ate some hot tea and sandwiches with it, and as soon as the workshop finished repairing the damage to the car, the friends left, moving forward in their determination to get a lot of excitement and suspense, completely ignorant of the dark fate awaiting them in that forest, which the one who fixed the car had warned them about. And they swear by God to go back, but all they could do was accuse him of cowardice and weakness. As they passed the road leading to the forest, their frightening story began, beginning with noticeable fluctuations in the weather. Suddenly the air became full of mist and raging wind, and then ghosts began to appear with distorted shapes that shook the bodies of all whoever sees it, but their arrogance prevents them from speaking and declaring what they see for fear that each of them will think that the other is a coward and they were still continuing their fateful journey. One of them made a mistake against his will due to the severity of what he saw as they have to go back to their places, and then each of them started recounting what he saw from the beginning of their entry into that terrifying forest and its frightening ghosts. But the deadly ghosts had surrounded them from all over the car. One of them resolved to get over it at full speed and indeed succeeded and was able to reach the house. Of his appearance from the outside it is scary, but there is no refuge for ghosts except to him. The door was locked and many Quranic verses were written on it. The friends were surprised and started knocking on it in a hysterical manner, and immediately the master of the house opened for them, and he was an old man alone. They told the story and everything that happened with him from the beginning of their entry to the forest. The man informed them that it is a forest filled with darkness and no one who enters it must leave it safe and sound. The friends were shocked by the man's words and his way of speaking, and fear and regret began to overwhelm them over all the labyrinths and loss they reached. The three realized that their destiny is one of two: either death outside or spending the rest of their lives in a scary house with an old man. And here one of them began to burp and began to repeat the words. The last thing I said to my mother was that I regretted being my mother and regretting that my father was my father. I lost her and all the abuse that my hands did to her and my parents. And he continued crying hot. The old man smiled and told them that he could help them as long as they felt guilty and could fix themselves for the better. He gave each of them an amulet and told them that they could leave early in the morning. He did not close their eyes and did not give them a body, and they were still waiting for the morning until a dim light came upon them in the clear sky. There were 3 of them in a hurry to leave. They could not stand spending 1 second in such a place. They asked the old man's permission to leave, and as soon as the door of the house was opened, they found someone waiting for them from the evening. Still waiting, they shivered, but the ghosts were as if they had been tied up, and you could not touch them badly, but their deadly forms sufficed. They restrained themselves and got into the car, and they began to remember. They departed in peace, but since then they have not forgotten one day they passed through the dark, frightening forest, full of graying children's heads.